Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called Travel Policies. I used to work for a tech contracting company that pinched pennies. This company recruited a handful of people for a large tech company and got away with paying below market wages because they targeted new graduates and let us all work remotely. I was fresh out of college and just thankful to have a job, especially one in my field. My company's travel policy covered airfare, cheapest option only, hotel costs with a very low cost cap per night, and a small per diem for food. One decent dinner would eat up most of this. Most everyone on my team was out of state and would require a flight to get to the office. On the rare occasion, us remote workers were required in the office, about 3 or 4 times a year. I was, however, fairly close to the office, and whenever I traveled, I would just drive my car. The gas costs were minimal, and I liked having a car with me. My company was happy, because I could get cheaper hotels that were slightly farther from the office, and they did not have to pay for airfare. Flying was technically possible for me, but it would have been several $100s. After one trip, I mentioned to our manager at a large tech company that I was not getting mileage reimbursement for driving my personal car. She flagged it to the contracting company and forced them to change their policy. This was very kind of her, but it was not my intention. I received a retroactive reimbursement for mileage for that trip, which ended up being just over $100 for a week and a half of travel. Nothing huge, but I was glad to have it, and happy that would be the policy going forward. When planning my next trip, the contracting company mentioned their travel policy had been updated. No more reimbursing mileage for personal vehicles, but now car rentals were covered if the worker was located within 500 miles and would be driving to the office. They recommended I rent a car for this trip, since they figured it would be cheaper than getting a flight. I asked if I could just drive my car and get reimbursed like last time, but they declined and said it was the new policy. Since they wanted to save money, and I'm such a team player, I went with their recommendation and rented a car for my next 2-week trip. The only car within policy was a tiny sedan, the cheapest option. I was 21 at this point in my life, maybe 22. Car rental companies have a daily surcharge for drivers under 25. The total cost for just the car ended up being close to $800, before the cost of gas. This was actually more than before, since this tiny sedan was not fuel efficient at all compared to my personal car. After the trip, I submitted my receipts for reimbursement and got pushback due to the cost. Just company policy. They did pay me back after about a month or so. They told me that for my next trip, I could drive my own car again, and they would reimburse for mileage, and would be updating their policy again to reflect this. But then 2020 happened, and all in-office visits were cancelled. I am now lucky enough to work at a different company that has a very generous travel policy and treats its employees very well overall. I appreciate this more fully than some of my current co-workers, I think. The next story is called Flexible Hours. About 15 years ago, I started a job at a government agency, managing a big fleet of cars. I drove them to repairs, swapped bulbs, hand-washed and detailed them inside and out. Each car took 45 to 60 minutes to do right. After about a month, my boss decided I was taking advantage of flexible hours and told me I must stop at exactly 4 p.m. Fine. If it was after 3:15, I didn't start another car, just swept floors or restocked. A few weeks later, my boss noticed way fewer cars were getting cleaned. He asked why. I reminded him of his no staying past 4 rule. Before, I sometimes stayed 5 to 20 minutes late to finish a car. Other days, I'd leave early. Turns out I wasn't taking advantage. I was just being efficient. He thought about it, apologized, and told me to go back to the old way. We got along great after that, and I stayed another 2 years. The last story is called Fit Notes. During work, I had an accident that damaged my back. Slipped disc that never fully healed. And extra damage from years of compensating with poor posture and gait. I had a fit note that cleared me for light duties. Most of my store team were incredibly supportive of my limitations. On good days or bad, they'd shuffle tasks so we could all help each other out. We did this for everyone, not just me. My main issue was standing still. Sitting, walking or moving around was fine. On a good day I could stand at the self-checkouts for a couple of hours with some pacing. On a bad day, not at all. But one colleague wasn't happy. She thought it was unfair that the team worked around my injury. She complained directly to the store manager that I should be forced to do self-checkouts too. That Sunday evening, a lower manager sent a message in the work WhatsApp group. From now on, having pain here so you can't do self-checkouts, having pain there so you can't do delivery, would no longer be accepted. Unless you had a fit note, you couldn't refuse tasks. I was scheduled to work Monday, thankfully a closing shift, so I had a small window to act. Monday 8 AM, I got incredibly lucky. I managed to get a call back from a GP, which in the UK is no small miracle these days. I explained the situation and she was furious. She emailed me an amended fit note right away. That afternoon I walked into work cheerfully and handed it to the duty manager. She read it, then burst out laughing. The new fit note prohibited me from any lifting, pulling, standing, or anything strenuous at all, and required frequent, regular breaks. It effectively banned me from all the tasks I could still do on good days. Apparently, my colleague was furious. She filed a complaint with the area manager, who dismissed it. She then threatened to take it to HR, along with his inaction, and was promptly told that would be harassment and disability discrimination if she pushed it. Well, she did say she wanted me to have a fit note. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.